Hello, hello. Thanks for joining me once again for Electric Avenue's YouTube updates. We are doing the new release music for April 12th, 2024. What's in store will be released on the 12th. And then also, we also have a preview, a second preview of Record Store Day 2024. That's April 20th. 8 a.m. is when we open. About 400 titles being released, of which we will have 98% of them, 97% when we open that day. There are some things that are being allocated as usual when they have too many orders for certain things and not enough to go around. So I may mention those things as we get a little closer. But for the most part, the fills are being, it looks like they've been pretty good. So yeah, I think we're going to be mostly good in that department. Anyway, so it's going to be a big one, guys. But let me start with this week's new releases and get those out of the way because there are many things of note that need to be addressed. Let's see. The first thing I think I'm going to mention this week is the new Beyonce Act 2 Cowboy Carter. This is the same album that we've seen the pictures with the image of her on the horse and riding side saddle. And this is the version, the physical version. They decided to go with this image. I'm not really sure why. I guess maybe they thought it was sexier or something. I prefer the horse image actually. But yeah, so she's kind of like I don't know, gangsta country. I don't know, like taking on the bro country thing or something. It's actually a great album. The interesting thing about this is that it says Act 2 Beyonce on here and Beyonce on the spine instead of Beyonce. Apparently that has something to do with her family's name and it being changed when they immigrated to the U.S. Also, apparently this version is missing a couple of the tracks that are on the streaming version, and same for the CD. There's been talk about, oh, was that late? Like they were turning in tracks late? I don't know. I tend to think it's probably a ploy to get people to keep streaming it after they buy this, so they can get money both ways. But still, it's not missing enough songs to make it feel like you're really missing a lot because it's already an hour and 20 minutes long on the streaming version. So anyway, new Beyonce in store. Okay. Yeah, for some reason the release date was like 2 weeks ago and then we finally get it in the store. Go figure. They love keeping retail down. Second big release of the week, the Eagles. This is the Essential Collection. It's a 6-record box set. Runs in the 150, 160 range. Produced by Don Henley. It's basically like an expanded greatest hits, and then they've got a bunch of live tracks too. So if you're interested, I would look that up online. I'm not going to have a lot of these in the store because I feel like a lot of people have these tracks or have already sort of bought other sort of reissues of the albums, but that's something to be aware of if you're an Eagles fan. Another sort of great artist from the past that keeps doing quality work and has a new release this week, Mark Knopfler of Dire Straits, his new album, One Deep River. And this is the limited edition indie color vinyl version. This is on blue vinyl. There's also a black vinyl, which is half speed mastered. I'm not sure if the blue vinyl is or not. It doesn't seem to be. This is like the latest thing where they try to get you to buy every version of it. So if you're more for the color coolness, then you've got that. If you're more for the whatever the audio version of it, and it's a, like I said, double LP. They're the tracks. Neither version is very cheap, so I'm just forewarning you there. What is cheap anymore, honestly? So this, another new release this week, a reissue sort of. Noah Kahan, probably one of the biggest breakout stories of the last year. And this is his Stick Season album, expanded. It's called We'll All Be Here Forever, featuring the singles Stick Season and Dial Drunk. This is on opaque bone white vinyl. There are 3 records in here. And Dial Drunk is on the 3rd record. So it's a new added single. They added 7 tracks to it. One is a remix or extended version, but so there's a lot of music on it, but also in the mid 60s, so not cheap there either. Those are more like the kind of gifts that you give to teenagers, college kids, and then you say, be careful with this, it costs a lot of money. um, so or your friends, I suppose, if you want to treat them. Linkin Park, this is Paper Cuts. It's their new greatest hits album. I kind of hope that there are more artists that start doing these greatest hits type albums again, because sometimes you just don't, you might have a passing interest in a band and you like a few songs. You don't necessarily want to have every single album. Your shelves are getting full, so you want to kind of like get something a little more space economical. This is the singles 2000 to 2023. Includes In the End, Numb, Lost, What I've Done, and so much more. Plus the unreleased song Friendly Fire and QWERTY vinyl debut. Limited edition 2 LP, clear, black, red splatter vinyl. So kind of a cool collection for Linkin Park. All right, let's see. New album from Maggie Rogers. And she's kind of been a breakout star in the last 5 years or so too. I think her first album did really well, and the second one did okay. This one I've heard some songs from, and I really like this. It's a little more earthy, Americana sounding. But check out Maggie Rogers. She's been pretty popular with young folk, the XPN and NPR audience. All right, and another one, a new artist that is very intriguing, Girl in Red, and this is her new album, I'm Doing It Again, Baby, her second album. She's Norwegian, and I know one of my artists that I really love to follow right now is Sondre Lerche, and he works with the same producer, Matthias Tellis, that Girl in Red works with. But she's pretty great singer-songwriter, opened for Taylor Swift on her tour. So if you've got Taylor fans and they're looking for something a little on the edge maybe that of people that they like the sort of Boy Genius, Charlie XCX kind of relations to people that have opened for Taylor. Blue Oyster Cult and their new record, Ghost Stories. This is actually, they took old songs of theirs mainly and sort of just did new versions of them, but they also do We Gotta Get Out of This Place and Kick Out the Jams. So If I Fell, there's like some kind of covery songs on there. I think they're saying that's going to be their last album, but that sort of, you hear that a lot. The new album from James, the band from the UK called Yummy. One time this was Morrissey's favorite band, I don't know, but they just keep going, and there's this second song there's called Life's an Effing Miracle. But yeah, they're a great band, and they kind of broke up for a little while, and then they've gotten back together, and there's been a whole string of albums now that are all different, varying degrees of excellent. So check that out. Emily Simon, her first new album in 10 years. You might remember her from doing the music of March of the Penguins a long time ago. Kind of Kate Bushy sounding, but this record is a little more electronic pop than her others. The last one I really loved. It was much more Kate Bush kind of feeling, but she sort of toned down a little bit of the vocal swoops and gone a little more electronic pop. But it's very good. So check that out. Polaris is the name of that. New Texas. And it's not necessarily new. This is Texas with Spooner Oldham, who's a pianist. and they went to Muscle Shoals. These are Muscle Shoals sessions. So it's really just Charlene Spiteri singing with some backup singers and Spooner Oldham playing piano mainly. But there's a shot from their meetup there, and it's pretty cool that they do that. But it's mostly all Texas songs. The band Texas, not songs from the state of Texas. Let's see. We've got Cedric Burnside, and this is his new record, Hill Country Love Blues. You might want to check that out. He does Poe Black Maddie at the end. Let's see. Another new release, Fu Manchu, Go For It live. And this is the 20-year anniversary 2 LP remaster, first ever repress, gatefold with new photos. So I don't get a lot of Fu Manchu stuff, but usually when I do, it goes fairly quickly. So, all right. Well, we had to have at least one jazz record here this week. It's kind of funny how like jazz has been so constant lately, and in the last few weeks it's kind of slowed down, I think because of Record Store Day mainly. But Harold Land, The Fox, this is Contemporary Records Acoustic Sounds remaster. Craft Recordings did this, produced by David Axelrod, featuring Dupree Bolton, Elmo Hope, Herbie Lewis, and Frank Butler. Lacquers cut by Bernie Grunman, pressed at QRP. I'm sure it sounds great, as all of these Craft Recordings records have. Sort of jazz here. Willie Colon is more sort of like, I don't know, like Latin flavored jazz. This is a masterpiece of Latin music, The Big Break, La Gran Fuga, features Fania legend Hector Lavoe, includes hit tracks Abuelita, I can't even, my Spanish is terrible, and Barunto. Now I can say enchilada and stuff like that. Lacquers cut from the original master tapes by Kevin Gray at Coherent Audio. And it includes a wanted poster of Willie Colon too. You know, I should have just studied Spanish. That would have been smart instead of German. I mean, well, I love Germans and Germany and all, but, you know, Spanish would have probably been more user-friendly. Delamitri, Twisted. I think a lot of people love this record and kind of forgot about it. This is the one that features Roll to Me, their big hit from the 90s. Didn't get too many of these. Hopefully there's more available soon. But yeah, they've been sort of reissuing Delamitri's albums. I think this has maybe been out before, but this is a new pressing. The Selector, Too Much Pressure. It's an anniversary edition. It's the 40th anniversary of this. Too Much Pressure being a pretty famous song from the Selector. But if you like ska and reggae, stuff like that. And then Nouvelle Vague, they continue with their reissue and new albums projects, and this is a band apart, limited edition 20th anniversary audio remastered for vinyl, includes 9 bonus tracks, so it's a fairly long track listing. They do sort of lounge versions of like 80s stuff, so songs they do: Killing Moon, Ever Fallen in Love, Dance with Me, Don't Go, Dancing with Myself, Heart of Glass, Pamela, Blue Monday, Human Fly, Bela Lugosi's Dead, Escape Myself, Let Me Go, Fade to Gray, and Waves. And then there's other bonus tracks: Ghost Rider, Israel, Pride in the Name of Love, Confusion, Mirror in the Bathroom, Sweet Dreams, Come On Eileen. A lot of like loungy kind of versions of those songs. A couple of CDs of note this week. Stickmen have already had the vinyl in of Umida and Tentacles, and we get the CDs now. Also, new CD from Liz Wright. She's a jazz singer. It's been a while since I've seen something from her. Michelle Ndego cellos on a track, and also Aaron Lee Tasjan, I think that's how you say the last name. Stellar Evolution is the name of their new song. All right, or album. Record Store Day. All right, so this is just a week away, and don't forget that next Friday, the 19th, is the release of the new Pearl Jam record, Dark Matter, and also there's two versions of that coming out: the standard version and the regional version, which we're gonna hopefully have a few of. I don't know how many, and so that's the one that's like, I think they said orange, black, and white. And so it's supposed to be Flyers colors, basically. Philadelphia Flyers. The other thing that day, obviously, is the new Taylor Swift album. We never heard anything about a record store day version of that. So I'm thinking that it's just going to be the Taylor Swift album. We're getting, I can't remember which version of that either. I think there's a couple variants of that, but ours is like clear or white or something like that. Ghost something? I don't know. And that is it'll be probably popular on Friday with all the kids that want to get that, and then it's also going to be popular on Saturday because of everybody in line who didn't pick it up on Friday that wants to get it. So Taylor Swift is a big deal. All right. Remember those things. Also, so let's get started with some Record Store Day previews here because it's already getting long. Got the new Beatles Crossley Cruiser. These are very cool, actually. These are the 3-inch record players. Don't have a ton of these, but did get a fair amount. I don't know what that means. Mini turntable and 3-inch record carrying case. So this comes with, it's the turntable. I don't know if you can see that. And the carrying case with the records inside. And I think, I don't know if I showed the mini records, but there are pictures of it on our Facebook page. The mini records, there's 4 of them. I saw her standing there. She loves you. I want to hold your hand until there was you. This thing is also Bluetooth ready. It's about $180, so it's not cheap. But yeah, those are very limited. We will have a few though. And then the another box set coming out, Grateful Dead, Nightfall of Diamonds. And this is the complete show from '89, available for first time on vinyl, 4 LPs with an 8-side etching, limited edition 10,000. Includes Dark Star, Addicts of My Life, Uncle John's Band, mixed from the 24-track analog tapes, newly mastered by Jeffrey Norman, produced by David Lemieux for reissue. Rhino had something to do with this. It was at the Meadowlands in East Rutherford, New York. Well, New Jersey. Definitely New Jersey. All right. Sorry, there's stuff everywhere. If you hear crinkling, you know why. Okay. Continuing with Record Store Day. These are in no particular order, so I'm just going to go through them. Wallows, Nothing Happens, 5th anniversary edition of this album. It's a double record, features Are You Bored Yet, featuring Claro, resequenced, and bonus tracks including Bad Remake. 2 LP color, blue splatter on white vinyl and white splatter on blue vinyl. Comes with an RSD poster. Ian Hunter, Defiance, Part 2. Well, he had an album out last year. And this is the second part, RSD exclusive variant on yellow vinyl. 3 new bonus tracks written by Ian Hunter featuring Jeff Beck, Brian May, Taylor Hawkins, Lucinda Williams, Cheap Trick, Ben Montench, members of Def Leppard, Pearl Jam, Black Crowes, Stone Temple Pilots, and more. Good grief. Talk about squeezing everybody in the twilight of your career. That's great. He's a force of nature, and he's pretty awesome. Mal Waldron and Steve Lacy. This is a sort of a jazz record featuring Reggie Workman and Andrew Cyril live in Antwerp. This is from a 1995 concert, deluxe limited edition, 180 gram, 2 LP. All right, so there's going to be jazz, people. There's going to be jazz. Little Richard right now. This is a first-time reissue on LP, pressed on Sunflare vinyl, recorded in one night, January 1973, includes his versions of Chain of Fools and Sitting on the Dock of the Bay. Junk Culture, Demos and Rarities, Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark. This is like, I think they did like a double disc reissue of this, and this is sort of like the second disc. So it's like B-sides and rarities and stuff like that. It's mostly B-sides and demos, a couple of 12-inch versions. So if you like Junk Culture, you might want to check that out. Don't want to drop anything. The Cure, The Top. This is the picture disc version of this. It actually looks pretty sharp. It's a very, like, it's always been a very bright cover. And I like this album a lot. I mean, critics, I think, were sort of like not really kind to it at the time. It didn't have any big hits. But Shake Dog Shake, Give Me It is great. Dressing Up, Caterpillar was the big single from it. Piggy in the Mirror, Banana Fishbones. Great album. Fog Hat. This is live in New Orleans, 1973, mastered from original analog stereo tapes. This is a double record. Doesn't say anything about color vinyl. I'm not really sure about that. The Hives. Great sort of like early 2000s band. Black and White album. Pressed on black and white vinyl with a poster. This was a pretty big indie hit for them, I think. Tick Tick Boom is the first track. Let's see here. America, with George Martin conducting the symphony orchestra. This is live from the Hollywood Bowl, 1975. Newly restored tapes, exclusive handwritten set list, artwork inside natural color vinyl. Features Sister Golden Hair, Horse with No Name, and Ventura Highway. So, got them all. This is Frankie Valli, and this is they call it his most unique album, Frankie Valli's Venture into Psychedelia. It's the Genuine Imitation Life Gazette, featuring Something's on Her Mind and Look Up, Look Over. I see this record from time to time as the originals, but very rarely. It's an interesting record for sure. Okay, Cannonball Adderley, Poppin' in Paris. This is live at the Olympia in 1972 and features never before released concert including Nat Adderley, George Duke, Walter Booker, and Roy McCurdy. Limited deluxe 180 gram 2 LP. And there are a couple of Cannonball Adderleys coming out. This one is Burnin' in Bordeaux, live in France, 1969. And this is Nat Adderley, Joe Zawinul, Victor Gaskin, and Roy McCurdy. So similar kind of projects there. 3 years apart. Even More Dazed and Confused, part of the soundtrack for the movie. 140 gram smoky purple vinyl. This features Free Ride, No More Mr. Nice Guy, Living in the USA, Why Can't We Be Friends, Summer Breeze. Anyway, Show Me the Way. Bunch of other 70s classics. Dio, Last in Line. This is the Zoetrope version of this. So when it spins on your player, I guess it's supposed to look like the devil or something. I don't know. But 40th anniversary featuring We Rock, The Last in Line, Mystery. It's just a picture disc, basically. The Zoetropes seem to be getting really popular. This is the new Steven Wilson of Porcupine Tree. It's Harmonic Divergence, the Harmony Codex remixed and reimagined. So it has a bunch of people like Mogwai, Ewan Pearson, and Manic Street Preachers, of all people, doing remixes, and then some things are just him sort of like coming up with different ideas. But Steven Wilson fans, take note, because that's not going to be around for very long. The Lost in Translation soundtrack. Well, this has been out before, but they expanded it. And it's such a great soundtrack anyway. This has Kevin Shields of My Bloody Valentine, Air, Phoenix, Jesus, Mary Chain, Peaches, Chemical Brothers. It's got a bunch of Brian Wrightsell stuff, who's a great sort of soundtrack composer. If you watched, what was it? The Hannibal TV series, I believe he did a lot of that too. His use of percussion is very interesting. Def Leppard, One Night Only, live at Leadmill. And this is from last year, 2023. Exclusive color vinyl edition, intimate hometown performance. So it's like them, but sort of like very small audience. Pour Some Sugar on Me, Bring It On the Heartbreak. Yeah. So Def Leppard. English Beat, What Happened? This is their second record, I believe, on limited edition yellow and green vinyl. Original album remastered with bonus LP of singles and remixes. They did this last year with the first album. I just can't help it. I just can't stop it. Yeah. Sorry, this is a lot of information to remember. I'm doing this off the cuff. There's nothing in front of me. Story of the Who. Let's see. Story. This is a limited replica edition with 8-page booklet, 2 LP on color vinyl, and this looks pretty cool actually. It's got the pinball machine on the back. Magic Bus, Boris the Spider, My Generation, Pictures of Lily, I Can See for Miles, Behind Blue Eyes, Acid Queen, We're not gonna take it. Not that song. Let's see. I already did that one. Yes. And this is First Time on Vinyl, legendary live performances by John Anderson, Bill Bruford, Steve Howe, Tony Kaye, and Chris Squire. Yale Bowl 1971. That's pretty early. Yours is No Disgrace, I've Seen All Good People, Clap, Classical Gas, and Perpetual Change. That's pretty cool. It's a little bit smaller than last year's, which was a pretty big concert. That was like a big, more of a big piece. Talking Heads live at WCOZ 1977. This looks awesome. This has Love, Building on Fire, Don't Worry About the Government, Take Me to the River, early stuff. Thank You for Sending Me an Angel, Psycho Killer, Pulled Up. It's a double record. Let's see, 7 previously unreleased performances. I think some of these ended up on that one album of theirs called The Name of This Band is the Talking Heads. And then these are the songs. It's got the complete thing. Mighty Lemon Drops, the vinyl debut of this. This was their final album, I believe, from 1992. Tan vinyl, 1,100 copies. Pretty good record. If you like sort of jangle and like, 80s rock that kind of turned into the 90s. It makes me wonder if they're like, are they getting back together? Usually when we see these kind of things, like bands start reuniting and stuff like that. I don't know if I showed this last time. Screaming Trees, Weird Things Are Happening. I might have, but this is demos from 86 to 88, 4-track cassette demos. Never before heard unreleased songs from Screaming Trees. Gosh, they look so young there. Maybe I did show it. I don't remember. There's a couple of things that may overlap now, people, because I'm starting to lose track. There's a lot. Nat King Cole and the Blue Note Chicago live. And this is an incredibly rare, never before heard live performance from Nat's 1953 Blue Note Chicago residency. Includes spectacular versions of Unforgettable, Paper Moon, and Route 66. Restored audio, lacquers cut by Kevin Gray, pressed at RTI. Well, he was one of a kind, wasn't he? I suppose his daughter tried a little bit, but not really the same. Mavis Staples, her album Have a Little Faith. And this is the 20th anniversary deluxe edition that reintroduced Mavis to the world. Audiophile 45 RPM, pressed on 2 silver LPs. Expanded artwork, new liner notes by Mavis. I don't know, Prince might be upset with the fact that it sort of discounts his work with her. But yeah, it's kind of like more, the serious sounding Mavis, or the The rootsier Mavis. All right. I know I have more here. Oh, pardon me while I grab some of these. All right. We have Roger McGuinn, Chris Hillman, and Marty Stewart. This is the basically Sweethearts of the Rodeo, Sweetheart of the Rodeo, 50th anniversary live. And there aren't a lot of these in stock, but they're not cheap. So that's why that. But you get Mr. Tambourine Man and Turn, Turn, Turn. You Don't Miss Your Water. So that's cool. Let's see here. Christian McBride and Edgar Meyer. This is Christian's, their new album together. It's already out on CD. It's called But Who's Gonna Play the Melody? 2 LP light blue vinyl. Two really great players there together. Had a lot of requests for this. Lowell George of Little Feat. Thanks, I'll Eat It Here. Limited 2 LP deluxe edition. 1979 classic solo album from Lowell George. Recut from the original master tapes, plus rare unreleased tracks and outtakes, lacquers cut by Bernie Grunman. Let's see, got more here from the Faces, and young Rod Stewart in there. Official Faces, this is the BBC session recordings. Includes Stay With Me, Maggie May, Had Me a Real Good Time. They look so young too. They would have been young. All right, a lot of people have been asking about this too, the Doors piece, and this is another live Doors live concert. They recorded a lot of their shows. September 20th, 1968 in Stockholm. This is a 3 LP, I believe, translucent light blue vinyl, newly mixed by Bruce Botnick from the original multi-track tapes. This is numbered, they did 11,500. This one's numbered 2807. Of course, it ends with the end. It always says, Light My Fire is on here. Let's see, Backdoor Man, Alabama Song, Mac the Knife, Love Me Two Times, Light My Fire, Love Street. Actually, Love Me Two Times is on here twice. So I don't know if sometimes they would bring things back in the same show. Paramore, This Is Why. It's a interesting cover, and this is just the I think this is just the remix album. There are 2 versions of this. One of these has the This Is Why album and the remix album, and then I think this one is just this is the ruby color by itself. So there are 2 versions. This features mixes from Panda Bear, Wet Leg, Remy Wolf, Bartees Strange, Julian Baker, Jack Antonoff, Foles, Linda's. So if you're into Paramore, pick that up, because I think that's not going to be around for too long either. Let's see. Thin Lizzy. And this is Live and Dangerous at Hammersmith, 1976, November. This is a 2-record set. Starts with Jailbreak, ends with Me and the Boys, Baby Drives Me Crazy. Thin Lizzy is a band sort of like Little Feat in the sense that they've had a huge resurgence in the last couple years. Gorillaz, Cracker Island, the deluxe edition of this record. If you got the 1 LP version, it was good, but I actually like this cover a lot. This is a limited alternate cover, and this includes 6 bonus tracks and a double-sided poster. Granted, it is more expensive than the regular edition, but very cool. I'm trying to see, some of these extras include Del the Funky Homo Sapien, MC Bin Laden, De La Soul, Tame Impala. I think it's a remix. Anyway, extra Cracker Island and goodies in there. Jazz Dispensary. I may have shown this too. I can't remember, but this is this year's Jazz Dispensary. The Freedom Sound, The People Arise. So Jazz Dispensary, kind of outside the box of what is considered just typical jazz. Another one, I'm not sure I showed this. Rolling Stones. This is their self-titled album, exclusive numbered, blue black swirl vinyl, lithograph included on archival paper. They're numbered of 13,000. I did get a fair amount of these. Features Route 66. I'm a King Bee. I Just Want to Make Love to You. Honest I Do. Mona. Now I Got a Witness. All right. It's early Stones. Bill Evans. Everybody digs Bill Evans. This is a Craft Recordings version, limited mono edition. Bill with Sam Jones on bass and Philly Joe Jones on drums. Remastered by Kevin Gray at Coherent Audio, pressed at RTI. Nice tip-on jacket. Those are cool. The 1975, and this is live at Gorilla Manchester. This is early 1975. Not early, I'm sorry. This is from 2023. So this is just more recent. It's a RSD 2024 exclusive. Pressed on white vinyl. So this is from just last year. Get a track listing there. If you can see that. Maybe I did that too fast. Go look online. All right. Well, I think a few people are waiting for this. The new Neil Young and Crazy Horse record. So this actually technically releases on the 26th, but because Record Store Day is the week before, they're doing a special Record Store Day release early. So this is called Effin' Up, or Fucking Up, if I can say that on this video. In all its ragged glory, 9 songs, 2 LPs, limited edition clear vinyl, an exclusive lithograph, and parental advisory. This is, I can't remember, I think they're playing some of their old songs, but really rocking and like, in new ways. So the cover is really hard to see because it's all black except for this horse. But so new Neil Young, and not just and not a reissue. Although I mean, he is the king of reissues, right? Dead by Sunrise, Out of Ashes, Out of Ashes. This is Chester Bennington of Linkin Park side project. It features Amir Darrak and Ryan Shook. 18 songs on 2 LPs, including Morning After, Rare B-Side, and 5 live acoustic performances pressed on translucent black ice vinyl. So that's twice in this video today. I've featured some Linkin Park thing. Team Sleep. This is Chino of Deftones side project. Remastered 2005 album on 2 LPs, first time on vinyl. Featuring 2 bonus tracks, limited edition gold vinyl. Zach Hill, Mary Timony is in this. Mike Patton makes a guest appearance. All right, Sonic Youth. These rooms are for hits are for squares. Can't talk today. This is a gold nugget color vinyl, and I believe it's a sort of a collection of Sonic Youth stuff. So if you're looking for some of these songs, they were selected by actors and musicians. So Bull in the Heather was selected by Catherine Keener. 100% selected by Mike D. Sugar Cane selected by Beck. Cool Things selected by Radiohead. Other songs, Superstar, Teenage Riot, Shadow of a Doubt, Slow Revolution. That's a new Sonic Youth recording when this came out. So this was what, I can't remember, 2008. So vinyl version of that. It's pretty rare to see that. Snarky Puppy, sort of jazz type group, live at Band on the Wall. And this is a 1 LP, but the tracks run about, you can have like almost 45 minutes of music here. Not bad for the price at all. So Snarky Puppy. The Monkeys. This is the Birds, the Bees, and the Monkeys. I think this is a mono reissue on Friday Music of this. Had a lot of interest in this because I believe of the mono factor. The Weekend. This is the live record, live at SoFi Stadium. This is not cheap either. It's 3 records. It's got a ton of songs, but it's kind of heavy. Uh, we have a few of these, but not a lot because they are so expensive. Nothing that the Weekend does is cheap, and when it's pushing $60, you kind of are like, well, how many of those do we need? You know, it's unfortunately like the financial side of things is a consideration at times. Collective Soul Dosage. This is, I think, their 3rd studio album. 25th anniversary features Run and Heavy on translucent lemonade vinyl. This was definitely allocated. Wish that we'd gotten more of those, but I have more than one, but it's not what we ordered. Keen Live. This is live. If you like, Coldplay around 2000, Keen was sort of like in that same kind of audio ballpark. A little more piano driven, probably because they didn't have a guitarist, but previously unreleased full concert recorded live in Amsterdam on a red and white 2 LP. And so this one features Somewhere Only We Know was the big hit, I think. But Everybody's Changing was also a big hit. So Bed Shaped. This is the Last Time. Pretty great era for them, at least musically. Electrofiction Burned. This is basically Echo and the Bunnymen's when they sort of transmuted into a different band name, and it was this is on black and white swirl vinyl. Features Ian and Will from the band, and it's definitely more of a rockin' kind of version of what Echo and the Bunnymen did. Back in that era when they weren't really sure exactly what they wanted to do. And it's a good album, though. Todd Rundgren, Todd, and this is the 50th anniversary on orange and green vinyl. Features Dream Goes On Forever and Is That Love. Todd Rundgren. Let's see. Cheech and Chong, Up in Smoke. And this is No Seeds, No Stems, loaded with hits. Limited 420 edition of the classic 1978 soundtrack on smoke and green vinyl. Don't worry, folks. We're getting to the end here of this edition. Cranberries. This one is Bury the Hatchet. This was kind of their last big album, I think, for Island, maybe. But first time with complete sessions available on vinyl. Promises, Animal Instinct, and Just My Imagination. And then they sort of went on a hiatus. The Dolores album is extremely highly allocated for some reason. So if you can't get that, I'm terribly sorry. And hopefully that's some kind of thing where they'll repress it later. But her solo record is coming out too. One of her, I think she had a couple, but they just didn't make enough of them. But we do have a few of the Cranberries. So all right, and then Captain Beefheart, Spotlight Kid, and this is a reissue of this on clear vinyl. Includes original analog album cut from the master tape, plus rare and previously unreleased outtakes. Lacquers cut by Chris Bellman. All right, I think that's everything I have in front of me at this moment. There will be pictures on Facebook, and like I said, I ordered like 97% of what it was on that list, at least one copy, and in many cases, many more than one. So it's a record store day is a big day, it's a big deal for us. And I really hope that you guys can get out and support the store. I've said many times before, it's important to support the store more than just on record store day. And I don't know, there are a few people that I am not really directing this at, but I can think of who sort of I only see like once a year. And that's a little disconcerting because either you're not buying records the rest of the year, or you're buying them online and cheaping out and not supporting the store, or maybe not cheaping out, you're just not even bothering. looking at the store for some assistance. And if you don't support the store, we can't continue doing Record Store Day. So we've been very fortunate in the last 3 or 4 years. And now I start seeing things like inflation and all that that has kind of, I wouldn't say it's necessarily eating any away at the store yet, but it does. I think it does give some people pause, and there are people that I've heard might not be attending this year, even though I have other people saying this is the biggest record store day list and that they ever have seen and feel about. So I'm getting sort of mixed signals here, and I think the great increase of record buyers, it has grown for sure, but I don't know where it's at right now, if it feels like things are kind of like moderating more or what. But in a way it sort of does, because I think the pricing has an issue on some of that stuff. So that's just my 2 cents. Please support the store more than just once or twice a year if you shop in that store. I mean, it's one thing if you're buying it online and from the store later to support them or what. I can totally understand if you're not in the area or something like that. Fine. To kind of though step in and then step when you want and step out. That's whatever. I mean, there are people that do come in every week or every month, and even, every couple months is great. And I so appreciate that, because that's what keeps the store going. So there's my soapbox for the day. Thanks, everybody, for being so supportive. It's been a very sort of tumultuous time personally, and had some really sad yet wonderful things happen in our lives. So I really, really I do not take any of this for granted. And I don't know if there are many people that speak like this on YouTube much, where they get so personal like that. But I really do appreciate all of the kind words. And there are too few of them in the world these days. And I don't want to start sounding like a politician, so I'm going to cut this now. But hope you enjoyed preview number 2. There will probably be a little bit more of a preview, but we really have to start getting stuff organized in the store to actually have it on display so it's ready for you to buy on Record Store Day. So look for pictures, and if you have questions that you think will be sort of up in the air and you need to ask them, I guess go ahead and do that. But thanks, and everybody have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next week with Pearl Jam, Taylor Swift, and Record Store Day. All right. Take care, everybody. Thanks. Peace.